Now, according to News 24 reports, close to 90 boys have been kidnapped in Gauteng by illegal initiation school organizers. Illegal initiation school organizers often demand ransom from parents after the abductions. Joining us is Kiba, Kekana, Gauteng Co-operative Governance and Traditional Affairs Spokesperson. Mr. Kekana, thank you so much for joining us on Daytime Update this afternoon. Crazy phenomenon that's going on here with these abductions. Tell us, how did this thing start and how big of a challenge is it for the province?
Thank you very much, Masa, and good day to the viewers. The institution of traditional leadership, as we know, is now governed by Chapter 12 of the Constitution. And we've got an enabling legislation called Customary Initiation Act. And that legislation has got institutions that have been created. At the national level, we've got National Initiation Oversight Committee. At the provinces, we've got Provincial Initiation Coordinating Committees, of which I'm a member. With regards to this cultural practice, this sacred cultural practice, in the past, it was unregulated. And people used to, kids and parents were to be forced, to pay some amounts, which were more like your school fees, something like that. So as I speak to you now in Gauteng, the initiation season is only going to start from the 15th of June, which is the Saturday, and it will run up until the 8th of July. Because it is in line with the school calendar. So all those that are running initiation schools as we speak, especially for school-going kids, are doing this, running these schools illegally. We've got a total of about 138 kids that have been abducted in the province. The greatest number of these kids is coming from the city of Tshwane. We've got about 69 coming from Winterveld. What we have done as I speak, we have rescued all of these kids, and then they were taken back, reunited with their families, and they also received some psychosocial support services from the Department of Social Development. And the perpetrators, 3 have been arrested, and unfortunately, we've got 2 fatalities in the province. So we've got a provincial initiation monitoring committee that will, once they get tips from the community, they work with subs. They will go into these areas, close down the school, and arrest the school principals.
Now, going back to that News 24 article as well, where they're reporting about this too, they also speak of a case of a woman whose 15-year-old son in Davidton went missing with a 17-year-old boy. And then she was, there was this ransom of 4,000 Rand that was demanded of her. So these illegal initiation schools that you speak of, it's not even parents per se sending their kids there, but their kids either being lured or physically abducted. Is that the case?
That is the case in most instances. Once we say a school is illegal, it means even those that want to run the schools, they do not want to go through the processes that are specified in terms of the Customary Initiation Act. Because one, there has to be a parent's consent form. The initiator must also consent. There must be a medical examination report or certificate, and they must have proof that they've got land, whether it's a permission to occupy or a lease agreement, and that place must have, your amenities such as water and the issue of sanitation as well. And the traditional sergeant must also be qualified, certified through the Department of Health. The school principals must also be over the age of 40 and have 10 years of experience in order to conduct these initiation schools. But as we speak, like I'm saying, prior to this legislation, we relied on municipal bylaws, and some of them were not strict enough. They were not even identifying serious penalties. As a result, people used this as a form of business. They abduct, they kidnap, and then parents must then be forced to pay a certain amount to because they will argue that they've already performed some initiation program, and parents are forced to pay. The other challenge is that most of the parents are very reluctant, to open cases because sometimes they're intimidated. They can't open cases. So that is a very serious challenge that we have that is why these schools that have been operating before school closes, we term them as illegal. And as a province, I think, and as the PICC, we subscribe to zero tolerance in terms of illegal initiation. The 3 that have been arrested will continue to arrest and close down the schools. So from the community and the parents, members of the community, we want to appeal to you that as soon as you suspect that there's an illegal initiation school or kids have been abducted, go to your local police station, go to any municipality, report that so that we can send our provincial monitoring committee.
Is there a way to also protect them? I'm sorry to interrupt you there, because you mentioned that parents are reluctant to open cases because they face intimidation. But if the advice is to go back to the same police stations that they're afraid of going to, is there not another channel per se from your department where parents can come to you and say, my son or my nephew or whoever, my family member has been abducted and I'm too afraid to go to the police? Can they come to you as a department?
Yes, that's why I'm saying they could go to the district initiation forums that are mainly based in municipal offices. Once they report that to a municipality, they report that to SAPS, they report it to COCTA or any government department, that information will come to us and then we will dispatch our monitoring team. The problem is not with the police station themselves. The problem is because people who abduct, generally, they come from the same community, and they are thugs, if I were to put it that way. Because if you abduct, kidnap somebody's child, that's a criminal offense. So these are mafias. We can call them initiation mafias because they don't want to follow the law. So that is why we are very hard when it comes to those that are breaking the law. We're doing this to SAPS because we do not have the powers, I think, to arrest and to do all of these things. So SAPS is a key component in our work of discouraging, the conducting. Because what they're doing, they're damaging what we are trying as government to build. We're trying to restore the dignity of the traditional institutions. That is why we've got Chapter 12. That's why we've got Customary Initiation Act. Because we want to protect the dignity. We know what traditional communities and leadership can contribute to our democratic dispensation. So the minute kids die there, the minute kids are abducted, it's reputational damage. So that is why we want to protect this institution because it's a sacred cultural practice.
Absolutely.
If conducted well, it contributes to our overall education system. Because traditional initiation schools or initiation program is not just about circumcision. It has got its own curriculum, where young people are guided towards a responsible adulthood. So that's why there's a need to protect it and to weed out all those that are doing it in the name of cultural practice or in the name of being according themselves the status of being traditional leaders. And most of these people are not even recognized. In the city of Tshwane, we've got only 2 recognized traditional leaders. In Hammanskraal, under Kosi Casey Kekana, in Sokolumi, Bronkhorstspruit, under Kosi MP Mahlangu. So these
Mr.
are the
Kekana,
two.
thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for this afternoon. But great to know 138 abductees have been rescued, and there have been 3 arrests already when it comes to those illegal initiates who are being abducted. And that was Kiba Kekana, who's the Gauteng Co-operative Governance and Traditional Affairs spokesperson.